Lawrence from Mission Start Podcast, and today, or at least I think this week, or however what it is E3 week, and it is the biggest video game event that's going on in the gaming industry. And we couldn't sit back and not say anything, so we decided to talk about it. Anyways, with me today is Greg Dietz from The Overtime.
Mr. Roboto something Origato.
And with me from Artistic Alliance is Mike Whitaker.
I think Greg was enjoying his 80s moment a little bit too much over here.
I think he was.
They call me a karmic million, so.
For those listening, this is a part 3 in the kind of Triforce of podcast episodes that we've been doing with Artistic Alliance and Overtime this week. So if you're listening to this is the part 3 section.
It's kind of like when the Jetsons and the Flintstones met.
Yep. Yeah. And then like there's no awkward kind of meeting between like Judy and what's her name?
Judy. I was always hot for the robot.
Yeah.
Maid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think her name was Ruby?
Rosie.
Rosie.
Yeah.
It was an R. Rosie the robot.
Yeah.
Maid.
But yeah, I suggest you guys go listen to the Freakin' Awesome podcast. Was the first part of it, and then the second part of it was the Overtime, which we talked about the press conferences, the main big 3, which were Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox, or Microsoft. So on today's show, we're going to skip what you've been doing, because that's going to take a sidestep to the main discussion we're going to have today, which is all about E3 and the main games that happen, and which games are really interested in, and which games that we saw that could really use some more talk amongst us. So, Greg, I need to do some homework for me because my computer was being an ass.
Yes. If you want, I will continue like I did with the big 3 from the Overtime, but do EA and Ubisoft's.
That would be great.
Okay. I have them written down. I'll start whenever you're ready, sir.
I am ready when you are.
Okay.
As Reggie said, my body is ready.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you feel like the purple Pikmin. What a terrible joke. So I'll start with the EA's press conference. They actually started out, I can't think of the guy, I cannot remember the guy's name who came out because the video that I watched cut the first minute off for some reason. Mm-hmm. But a guy comes out from Ubisoft, or not from EA, I'm sorry, from EA, thanking the fans for sticking around and being there and dealing with their shit. And then they had a gameplay and trailer for Dead Space 3, which was a shocker.
God, but yeah, I mean, it was no surprise, but man, I have such a hard on for that game.
It looks good and scary.
I have a friend.
Awesome combination.
I have a friend who's played the first 2. He absolutely adores the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, "Have you seen the gameplay stuff from E3 of Dead Space 3?" And he was like, "I didn't even know they were coming out with one." I was like, "Yeah." And he was all excited. And then I said, "Here's the thing, though. They've Resident Evil'd Dead Space." And
Pretty
he's like,
much.
"What do you mean?" And I said, "It's now more action-y. It's a 2-player game. It's multiplayer." And he was like, "You got to be kidding me." And I said, he goes, "What makes it more action-y now?" And I said, "They have guns.
Yep.
They're not using mining tools anymore."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
He was like, "That sucks." So he's disappointed.
Yeah.
But for me, I have a hard time playing survival horror games. Like, when I have to play stealth or survival horror where I have to, like I get panicky, and then I get, my anxiety goes up too high, and then I die.
Is it like that claustrophobia kind of feeling?
Yeah, I rented Ghost Recon Future Soldier,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay, this game's fun. I throw out a thing, it scans the room, or I shoot a bunch of guys, I'm in cover, cool, cover system action game, sweet. Little bit of stealth, but not important stealth. And then there's a part in the first level where it's like, there's 7 dudes in front of you, and there's 1 dude to the right, and 1 dude in the far distance. You have to sneak around all of them without being seen at all, because if any of them see you, they'll kill the guy that you're going to save. And I'm like, 3 times took me to get past it all. Because I'm shitty at stealth games.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just as bad at survival horror. In Dead Space 2, there's the opening sequence where you're like bound up in a straitjacket or whatever, trying to get through everything.
Yeah.
Right, that was awesome. It was scary though.
It was awesome, but I couldn't do it. So I felt like I was gonna have a fucking heart attack.
Yeah. Nerve-wracking.
Oh, so bad. So like, I'm happy that Dead Space 3 is now more actiony, where I can actually play it and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Because I think Dead Space is a great idea. You know, the necromorphs. I think like necromorphs aren't new. I mean, Halo's had them with the Flood for a long time, but I like the idea of all that. I like the story to the game. So
yeah, I mean, the funny thing is like necromorphs in this game are seen like we're like disgusted kind of undead. I want to say like mutants in some sort of way, are really, as far as like the detail, as far as like how grotesque they are when you look at them. It's not like, you know, when you look at them, it's like, oh, it's like a vague representation of a zombie. No, they actually have some disgusting, eerie detail that makes them a bit more scary to fight against.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they're going to be dark.
Yeah.
In the game, but
Of course, yeah. It's just, you're crawling around in the dark. Something's gonna jump around the corner. That's what Dead Space was. That's what got me excited about the first game.
Even Resident Evil 5 has that. I mean,
Yeah.
It's still a Resident Evil game, so it has to have the horror element.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even Gears of War had a horror element at one point.
More
Like,
or less, but it was.
yeah.
But it's not designed to be a horror.
Yeah,
game.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but they still have to toss that in there somehow, which I
Right.
think is kind of out of place, but works for some reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely. I will.
Well,
or,
what's up?
I was going to say one last thing on Dead Space 3 is that, you know, for a person who's played the first, second game, and I love both games, I really love the horror aspects and kind of how the setting was for each one. Seeing it being Resident Evil, I agree with your friend that I don't quite like that they did that, because it takes away the kind of horror aspect on top of, you know, you have a co-op partner at the same time, so it takes away that, you know, you're alone, or you're, you know, that secluded feeling. So I mean, I'll still play it, but like I am sad to see that it went in that direction. For now, who knows?
I mean, it could just be the trailer that they showed, the piece that they showed was an actiony part, and there could be more actiony parts, and it still is a complete survival horror game, just 2-player survival horror, which would be cool, but I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, definitely.
So the next thing they did was they had a trailer with Ray Lewis from Madden 13. It was that rousing, like, I'm the shit trailer.
Yeah.
And then they had
him pumping himself up in the locker room before a big game.
It's like, they told me I was small. They told me I couldn't do it.
It's like, who told Ray Lewis that he's small? Like, I want to see the guy who stood next to him and said, "Hey, you know what, man? You look like you need to hit the gym." And Ray Lewis is like, "Oh no, you didn't." Yeah, no, I didn't. I'm sorry.
I kind of imagine Ray Lewis doing the whole black woman, like, head swivel. Right after that, they had Michael Irving come out and talk about Madden 13 and how impressed he is with the level of detail. And I'm like, the game has had that level of detail for years now.
Yeah.
So I just don't care about the Madden games anymore. I think that EA having a monopoly on NFL has really soured my desire to play a football game.
Yeah, they won't let anybody else have that franchise. Like,
yeah.
That's their cash cow for EA Sports right there.
It is. And, yeah.
But the one element I think, you know, I don't play a whole lot of Madden either. I mean, I can't say I never have played it. I do like the one new feature that they highlighted the most, where it's I don't know what word to describe it, but it's like, you know, if you hit a guy in the knee, he'll trip. If you hit a guy in the arm, you know, it could, you know, throw him off balance. I think that physical element is added to the game. I think we need that in there, because, you know, we see it all the time in pro football. Somebody takes a trip, they go flying on the ground. You know, you need to have that human element in there to make the game more realistic, and I like that they're introducing that with this year's title.
Yeah, I mean, like, I used to play a lot of Madden too when it came out every year, but I do like that they put in the Euphoria. How can I talk to them? The Euphoria engine, the same engine they put in the Star Wars Force Unleashed game, where like now when you tackle somebody, it's not the end of the play. They can break out of it and go for a touchdown.
Yeah.
So I do like that.
If you like reach for somebody's ankle and you try to like pull them down, they can stay on one foot and like kick their foot free and keep their balance and stuff, because that happens in real life.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean I do like that, but I feel like EA is really stretching to really find some new things to put in Madden, because Madden's been 13 years since.
The other thing about Madden, and I have to stress this a lot with what you just said, Madden is on year 13, or 2013. It's been like almost 30 years now. Mm-hmm. But the thing is every single year they sell a stupid amount of copies of this game.
They do.
That's true, yeah.
So selling it at E3 during the press conference didn't make any fucking sense to me.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, the game sells itself.
It does. It does. It's sad to say because they have the license. They can do whatever they want with it, and people will still buy it regardless, because other people, they can make the NFL game. So it's...
I think the funniest thing about Madden, and this is just a side thought that I've had for the last couple of years, John Madden has been retired both as a coach and an announcer for like the last 2 years for an announcer, I think, or 3, and yet the man does not have to work another day in his life for the rest of his life, because he gets all the licensing rights for that game.
Or anybody else who has any rights to that money that he has.
Yeah,
good point.
So I just think it's such a funny thing, because it's like, yeah, John Madden has been a coach in how long, and he hasn't been an announcer for how long, but yet he's still on the title of that game?
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's insane.
Me.
Well, after they did all that stuff for Madden, they showed the trailer for SimCity Social, which was followed by the actual SimCity trailer for the PC. Mm-hmm. SimCity Social looks fucking retarded. And I'm not talking about, like, learning deficient retarded. I'm talking about drooling and playing with your ding-dong in class retarded. But SimCity looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I won't play it because
I'm not a SimCity
it's a sim
fan.
game, but it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was comforting to see Maxis again, because like I have not seen him put out their SimCity game in a long time. Like the last time I saw him do or last time I played a SimCity game was like the very first one when it came out, and putting tornadoes and volcanoes in the middle of my city and having them destroy my city at the same time was awesome. But yeah, it was cool to see that they came out with a new SimCity and it looked really good. And I won't play it, but I can respect it from a distance.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't deny it looks good at and everything, but like I'm not a fan of The Sims. I'm not a fan of the SimCity. The whole taco, the whole shebang-a-bang, the whole enchilada. I'm just not a fan of those games at all. But I can't deny the fact that the game doesn't look gorgeous.
Yeah, definitely, and it looks like I mean, the thing that they did say with I think with SimCity or SimCity Social is that it will be integrated into social media, so people were like making a joke like, oh crap, we're gonna have so many Facebook updates from the SimCity games.
And I'm gonna get like, your friend's playing SimCity Social, you should come play too. Fuck off.
Yeah, seriously.
So next it came out with DICE came out and introduced Battlefield Premium for $50, and showed a little bit of the 4 map packs that are going to be coming out for each thing, or over the course of time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What's funny is when they introduced it, they said that it's available right at that moment, which was cool. However, I already knew that was going to happen because things get leaked and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have played enough Battlefield 3 to really give it a fair opinion about it, but I will say this.
Well, I played all the way through the campaign.
I'm talking multiplayer, because that's where all the DLC comes from.
I've seen enough videos.
Yeah. my brother plays it from time to time, but yeah.
Sorry, I'm sitting in the same room with Mike and I just farted.
Thanks for sharing that with everybody.
Yeah.
Listeners, it is wonderful to just let it out.
I'm turning the fan on.
Okay.
Anyway, all on your face, Greg.
Man, I'm glad I'm over here.
Anyway, so
you're the lucky one.
it's really like as soon as they after they announced that, I logged on to Battlefield 3, and I went to look up like what the premium thing was. Now this was like you can buy it right now for 4,000 Microsoft points, and I'm like, no thanks. So but if you say no thanks, it still takes you in and tries to promote it as best it can, and it gives you a map, a calendar. And it has a list of things that are going to come out, like 5 separate different things. So it's map packs, weapon kits, other special bonuses, special videos, and then like other camo for your guns or something like that. And throughout the months of the year leading up to March, there's stuff going to be coming out every single month. The game, if you buy premium. Now, if you play Battlefield literally every night, I can see how that is worth $50.
Right.
If you plan on playing Battlefield 3 up until March, even past March, then you are set.
So this is just like the Elite package from Modern Warfare 3.
Yep.
Very, very similar. The difference.
But you are
that,
getting the maps, right?
Yes, but the only difference I would say is that the one for Call of Duty is a subscription that works through all the Call of Duties, whereas Premium is one flat rate for everything forever.
Oh, wow.
So once you buy Premium for $50, you have that forever.
Oh, wow.
That is the fact that it's a lot cheaper than the Call of Duty Elite package.
Right, it is. Over time, it's at least cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if I am still playing Battlefield 3 by March, I will buy the thing, because it will still be less money than if I didn't buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
And Premium will apparently be always available for $50 until the end of time. So that's cool. There are cool things about it. I just can't justify buying it right now.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. I mean, I believe that this was obviously EA's move against Activision for the whole Call of Duty Elite with their Battlefield franchise. I don't doubt them for doing it. I do applaud for them to making it cheap and making it to where all the DLC or the maps that are included will be with the price when you pay for it. So, it's... I mean, if you're a fan of the Battlefield 3 series, then, this is probably a good thing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll definitely make a lot of Battlefield fans happy.
Oh, yes. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. The people who've bought it so far have absolutely loved the close quarters maps, are excited for September to roll around for the armored kill maps.
Yeah.
So, and people got a new knife.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like a gardening knife, but whatever.
Yeah, new knife. Woo!
So then right after that, they came out...
You mean it kills harder than the other knives? Is that what
I don't know how you can kill harder.
I'm just assuming that's why they gave it to you. This
Yeah.
one cuts deeper and it bores a hole that will never close.
The other knife looks like a standard military knife. Like when you play the game, it just looks like a standard. I want to say Boeing knife, but I don't think that's the correct word. Whereas this knife has like a little hook on the end of it.
Yeah.
So like if you were to stab someone and then pull with the hook, you just fucking rip out whatever it hooks onto. And it's got an orange and black handle.
Nice colors.
So,
Giants fan. No, they should totally give you guys like a ballistic knife that has unlimited blades.
that'd be awesome.
Because if you shoot one, the blade's gone. So you just get unlimited blades that just appear out of nowhere. You don't have to know where they come from. It's a video game.
I'd love to see a thing where like, because the idea of stabbing somebody is you stab them and then pull away with their tags.
Oh yeah. I know.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
And I would like to see a situation where you pull their tags off with the knife, but then he accidentally hits the button for the ballistic knife and the tags just fly off in the distance.
That'd be funny.
That would be fucking fantastic.
Yeah, that would be.
Like, well, there goes that idea.
So after the Battlefield Premium thing, they had I can't think of the company's name that showed it, but they came out and showed some stuff that's going to be coming out for Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, about that. So apparently, they're what they announced was like they have a new expansion pack coming to Star Wars. But also on top of that, in July they're gonna let people play the game for free up to level 15, for everyone, and if you want to buy the game or not.
Online, right? Or
I mean that's
the game.
I think you can just download the. I don't know. Actually, that's a good question. I don't know. I want to say that you can just download it and then like play up to level 15 and then pay for the whole thing later on. Maybe I'm not quite sure.
I think you have to have. I think you have to have
Physical copy.
The Old Republic already, like the full game.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm sure you have to pay for that.
And then you get to play it online for free.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. They didn't go into it too specifically, but
Yeah, basically everybody gets to play the game for free up to level 15, and you guys.
that's cool.
That's rad.
Yeah, I might play it. I might. That makes me kind of want to play.
My video card's not high enough for me to play it, but I'd love to.
Yeah.
Well, after that, they decided to show something awesome, and that was the gameplay footage of Medal of Honor Warfighter.
Yeah, that looks good.
Military shooters are becoming kind of the norm right now.
They are.
And I think that military shooters going into the future is becoming the norm.
They are too.
So, like, because there's Ghost Recon Future Soldier.
Black Ops
2.
Yeah.
Warfighter is going to be in the future. So, like, there's cool things about, like, the mini tank. The remote control mini tank is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know. That game looks like a lot of fun.
It looked gorgeous to me on the video and the gameplay that they showed.
Did you guys play the Medal of Honor that came out a few years ago? Like a couple years ago?
I kind of want to play it, but then I heard some stuff about it and it kind of steered me away from it.
I didn't play it.
It's not very good. Jawara and I don't know if Jawara's ever been on this podcast. I don't think he has, but he's been on episodes of the Overtime and the Freakin' Awesome podcast. Him and I played it when it first came out, and we reviewed it for the Freakin' Awesome podcast. And our review was very damaging. Like, we didn't like it at all. We thought there was a lot of problems with it that there shouldn't have been. So, like, we are skeptical of Medal of Honor Warfighter, but by the footage that they showed at E3, like, it actually has me pretty excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Medal of Honor they showed up this year looks a lot better than what it was last year, or the last game they showed off, because they really, I guess, took a lot of feedback or a lot of criticism and really put it into their game, and you can definitely see the changes in the game. It not only looks better, but from the looks of things, it plays better too, and it has better scenarios and kind of that type of deal. So
yeah. After they showed that, EA Sports came out and started talking about Madden and FIFA, and then introduced that UFC is finally coming to EA Sports.
What did you say about Dana White and?
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so Anthony knows about it.
Yeah.
I don't, because I don't follow the.
Dana White came to EA and said, "We would like to make a game of the UFC for EA Sports." EA went, "Fuck you! No one's gonna play that."
Really?
Yep.
Tell them in a much nicer way.
Wow.
Actually, I think what EA said is no one's gonna play that game, so no thanks.
Wow.
So Dana White was like, "Fuck EA! I'm never going to them ever."
Wow.
I can find a quote where he says, "Fuck EA! We're never going to EA."
What?
Right, Anthony?
It's true. It is very true.
So then he goes to fucking THC.
THQ.
THC is what's in marijuana.
Hey, everybody, you just got learned.
He goes to THQ and does I think it was like a 8-year contract or something like that. That is apparently up. Because he walks out on fucking stage during the EA press conference and is like, "Oh, we're now with EA." That's why I said he's a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah.
Wow, money talks.
Oh, yeah.
It really talks. And not only that, EA now has a license for the UFC franchise now.
Yeah.
So they're fucking doing the same thing with Madden series and the NFL. Now they have license to do THQ, which I mean, like, who knows how EA is gonna handle it? But like, I already don't like how it's going already.
I don't play the UFC games, but
yeah.
But the like, to me, to have someone who represents your company be a complete hypocrite,
Well,
to not stand by his word is beyond me.
you know, the one thing that I'm just now realizing, because I'm not a big UFC fan, and you know, I don't, you know, I'll catch it every now and then, but I'm learning more about this Dana White guy. Like every time I see him on TV or every time I hear about him, and it seems like he's the only guy who really believes in this company, and he's the only one who's stood by it. Nobody else has ever.
Him and Joe Rogan.
Yeah, him and Joe Rogan. And it's like they're the faces of the company, and I know, and Dana White's obviously the founder, but it's like nobody else believed in this company, especially a big company like EA. It just kind of blows my mind, and look how successful they are now.
Yeah.
Right. It's a situation where, like, if Dana White was like, oh well, and moved on to THQ, nobody would have said anything when he showed up on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If he didn't appear on stage, you know, they would have been, you know, not much talk about it. But what was I going to say though? There's something I heard that, you know, as a business standpoint, it makes sense because, you know, the money is there.
Well,
and
of course, right?
You can obviously get a lot of that attention through EA, but through like per se, like from a man's perspective, like, you know, that's like really you're being hypocritical, and you're going back to somebody that you just, you know, mouthed off, kind of like a dog between his legs, or what's the saying, like going back to somebody with your tail between your legs.
Yeah,
right.
You know? Right. It's just EA seeing a cash opportunity, and Dana White just bending it over, taking it up the ass backwards for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he could have probably gone anywhere with his company, with a video game company, but, you know, obviously, I don't know, somebody's desperate or somebody's just, you know, hungry.
Yeah.
So
That's
how it happens.
Yeah.
Well, moving on from that, the EA, I don't know who came out for it, but they introduced Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Yep.
Which is I guess technically a remake, but
I don't know how many Need for Speed games have I seen where you're getting chased by cops?
Almost all of them.
Hot Pursuit.
Hot Pursuit, the one that just came out, Hot Pursuit, and this one are made by Criterion Games.
Criterion. Yeah.
And they've made other racing games. I don't remember which ones, but they've made other racing games. And it legitimately looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a racing game, so it's kind of like, meh.
But Greg, it's buildings falling in your face while you're driving at high speed.
I can't do the jack off looking harder.
And you're right there next to him too, so you can actually see it.
Ew, that was weird.
So after they showed that, they ended the show with the Crisis 3 trailer and gameplay.
Oh yes, Crisis 3,
which looks beautiful.
Dude, I thought something seriously like illegal was going on my television when I was watching that video.
before
Crisis 3, or was that Far Cry 3? Oh, I was thinking Far Cry 3. Never mind.
Yeah, we're almost there, buddy.
I was thinking the wrong 3. Sorry, everybody.
No, that's cool. But to go back on the Criterion game, it's funny how like they're kind of remaking the same game that kind of already happened a few years ago. But the thing is, though, I'm giving more of a chance to this Need for Speed game than the last one. Is because Criterion are the guys who made the whole Burnout series, and I love the
I love Burnout. I played the hell out of that game.
So I'm gonna
Burnout Paradise. That's what I played. Yeah.
So I'm giving them a chance to see what they can do, and from the looks of things, it looks like they took some of the stuff from the Burnout and put it into this game, which, you know, you got cars crashing in against each other in like in these dramatic kind of slow-mo effects, and you got like other stuff going on.
Oh yeah, because that slow motion crash in Burnout never got old.
Hey, it was awesome.
No, it did.
It was awesome. I loved it.
It was awesome, but like I played a lot of that Burnout Paradise, and it got kind of old after a while.
Yeah. But anyways, back to Crisis 3, which was awesome.
Yeah, because we're not talking about Far Cry 3, we're talking about Crisis 3.
Crisis 3 was one of the other games to feature a crossbow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the new lens flare. Yeah.
Yeah, bow and arrow, not crossbows, but bow and arrows.
Yeah, bows and arrows, whatever.
Well, there's a difference between tunk and
yeah.
That's what I say that. I don't know why my string on my bows and arrows sounds like. The thing about Crisis that I have trouble with is they allow you, like, it's linear, but they allow you to approach a situation from many different angles. And this game looks no different than 1 and 2. So I think for me, I probably won't really play the game just because I didn't really... Like, I think that Crysis 1 and 2, and 3 included with the footage they showed, look gorgeous. I mean, borderline real.
Oh, yes.
And so you definitely can't fault the game for being that. But I just don't have that much fun playing it for some reason. Like, it's not as engaging to me as other games are.
Is it because, like, they fake that, yeah, it is an open world, kind of, but it really isn't type of deal?
Yes and no. I mean, I like the idea that they give you, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they shouldn't do the whole, like, hey, there's bad guys over there, and you have all these abilities, and it's a huge space, and you have as many options as you possibly can to take them out. But I don't want that. Because my option is always to hit the extra armor and go in and take them all out.
Right.
So, I mean...
I hear what you're saying. I think that...
I don't think that you shouldn't make it that way, but it's just not for me.
Right. I mean... Here's the thing with the whole Crysis series. It's like, I thought about it. Crysis 1 was a game that everybody couldn't play because the graphics were so unbelievably good that you had to have a supercomputer to run the damn thing.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, over the years, they dumbed it down so that everybody can play it. But even then, the game, to me, wasn't just quite that appealing because it was too open-ended to me than it should be. Crysis 2, I actually played a lot of. I still need to finish it though. But it was a lot of fun, and yes, it was linear. But I do love the fact that they did add that sandboxy, you know, feel, even though it wasn't, to where you could attack a different area in a different way. You can be very sneaky. You can be a tank and just roll in, or you can be in another situation where you don't have to face all that at all. So I do love that option. And for Crysis 3, I cannot wait to play the game. They added some stuff that looks pretty cool. Yes, it looks exactly the same, and it looks even better than now. But I just love that kind of idea of that sandboxy feel where it is linear, but like they give you that option of how you attack each situation. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into it later, but there was a game that they premiered at the Ubisoft press conference that had that same feeling for me. I was like, ooh, that's fucking awesome. Probably will play it though. So. We'll get into that later.
Well, Mike, what about you? What do you think about it?
It looks good. I mean, I'm not a big like you said. I agree with you. I'm not a big fan of the Crysis series. I mean, I'll probably check it out. I'll probably rent it, but yeah, I really don't have much to say about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to the Ubisoft press conference.
Yes.
Yesterday when we did the overtime podcast, we scored the press conference with a 1 through 10.
I honestly think Ubisoft had the best presentation.
Let's rate EA. Let's rate EA.
Okay. All right.
Well, now that you mentioned that,
what would you give EA's press conference, Mike?
I pretty much gave EA and Ubisoft a dead tie. I thought they were both great. They did what I wanted.
Could you stop being difficult and just give us
they did what I wanted the big three to do. Show me games. And that's what they did.
I agree.
They both showed me games.
So do you have a score for EA?
Well, what did I give? Well, we didn't really do this yesterday for those two.
We did it yesterday for Nintendo, Sony, and
yeah,
Microsoft.
We didn't do it for the other two. So
no, because I didn't talk about them. That's why we're doing them now.
Yeah.
I give for EA, I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
Okay.
What about you, Anthony?
Given that EA showed some games I was really interested in, and kind of like, yes, it was a press conference, it's full of games from EA, which is good, but there were some things that they showed or they announced that kind of turned me off, like having having the UFC license all to themselves, and I mean, no offense to the Medal of Honor or the Battlefield 3 games, but like, when I saw both those trailers, I was like, the gameplay footages, like, they look exactly the same. Like, every other military shooter looks the same now to me.
Right. Yeah.
I would give EA I'll give them like a 7. I mean, it's the same I gave to Nintendo out of yesterday, but I feel that they showed a lot of things were good, but at the same time they showed some stuff that really kind of turned me off. So,
right, I'm gonna give them a 7 too for this exact same reason. I think that introducing Battlefield Premium at $50 was too much. Having Dana White come out and be like, "Yeah, UFC is ridiculous."
yeah.
Having I don't necessarily agree with you about the whole Medal of Honor thing, but then again, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite moments during the whole one of my favorite moments during the whole press conference was the oh god, I just had it, now I gotta pull it back up. Scrolling down, looking with my eyes, trying to figure out what I was going to say, blah, 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 blah. It was probably the Medal of Honor footage. I mean, I like my shooters. I love my shooters. And I really enjoyed how it looked. So, to me, that was great. Introducing, a couple games that we hadn't heard of before, like Crysis 3 and Need for Speed, even though they are, recognized franchises. I will say that the reason they don't get a huge score from me is they had literally no original IPs.
Good point.
None.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be awesome if they brought back, like, say, Mirror's Edge. That would be, like, also awesome to me. But, yeah, you're right. There was no new IPs, technically.
Yeah. So, in that regard, 7.
Okay.
So we'll move on to the Ubisoft press conference. They started off with
They started
girls.
with tits. Yeah.
well, there was a bunch of girls on stage.
Oh,
dancing.
yeah, I forgot about that.
And
yeah.
Flowrider came out.
Yeah, with his big-ass bling microphone.
Dude, that microphone was ridiculous.
Who fucking cares about Just Dance 4? Nobody cares. Did you guys care?
No.
Not really. Oh,
Right.
I don't want to dance.
It was yet
Especially in my apartment by myself.
It was yet another, like, mini concert in the middle of a press conference type of deal.
It was not necessary.
It was the Usher thing all over again.
It's like, I don't know what they're thinking. Like, that's not how to sell your conference or to get people hooked. You don't need to bring out a big famous celebrity to dance for you to sell your game. Let your game sell itself.
Yeah, really.
If you really have confidence in your game, let it sell itself.
Then right after they were done with that, Aisha Tyler came out and she talked for a second, and then Toby Turner.
By the way, I thought her presentation was a little weird.
Well, you heard, like, I sent you guys a link. I don't know if you watched it, Anthony, but Toby Turner, who is he's a YouTube celebrity, essentially. He talked about in his daily vlog on the awkwardness that it looked like because he couldn't hear her backstage.
Right.
Oh.
Because she was improvising, she was just riffing on the spot. He was trying to hear it and respond in time. That's why there was a lot of, like, over-talking or weird, awkward moments.
Yeah, because they had their
like,
moment where they were communicating backstage and front stage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's what, yeah.
There is a point in this press conference where it actually does look legit. It does look right. Because they're both on fucking stage. But when he was backstage, that's why it always seemed bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other reason that Ubisoft got Toby is because Toby has done a ton of literal trailers, and his biggest or most famous to date are the Assassin's Creed literal trailers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have over, like, combined, they have over 40 million views. So, so after they introduce themselves, they have Dan Hay come out and show, like, single-player Far Cry 3 gameplay.
Yeah.
This game...
Yeah, that's the opening video I had an issue with. I thought something illegal was going on my TV. I was like, what is going on? What is this?
I was like, wait.
The woman
felt up on my television and children are watching this.
Yeah, I was like, look, I was like, oh, they did rape. What?
It's okay,
oh,
guys.
shit.
No, it's totally National Geographic style. So
Oh,
it's
yeah,
totally
definitely.
She's an Aboriginal, so it's fine.
She's an Aboriginal.
You should have seen Twitter, man. It was blowing up. It was like either boobs or NSFW the entire time.
I even wrote on Twitter, like, am I the only one who just rewound their DVR for this?
Well, aside from boobs, the actual gameplay, fuck my balls. First off,
Yeah.
I tweeted during it. the guy playing this is so bad, it gives me hope for me playing the game.
Yeah, yeah.
He was like, what? Like, okay, cool, crossbow. Or, I see kind of bow and arrow. Cool.
Bow and arrow.
Stoked about that.
New lens flare, bow and arrow.
Dude, the bow and arrow is so sexy right now. That,
Dude,
like,
it's so hot. Thank you, Hunger Games. I called it Hunger Cry Games 3.
I'm not gonna laugh at that, Mike. That's terrible. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Hunger Cry?
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Call it Hunger Cry then.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Wow.
Fine.
I think a better one would have been Far Cry Games.
Far Cry Games is good. I like that one.
Anyway,
This is all improv, everybody.
Yeah.
so there's 3 dudes. He shoots one with a bow and arrow, then jumps down and proceeds to stab the second guy, but then just stands there and stares at him for a second, and then hops up on the ledge and
There was
stabs
one
him.
point where he switched to his gun. Like, he went to go shoot his bow, and then he switched to his gun, and he, like, just shot ground until he, like, got up and hit the guy.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is he doing?
I mean, the game clearly sells itself. I mean, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, and if it plays anything like the first 2 Far Cry's, it's going to play well.
Right.
So I'm not worried about that part. And I'm not worried about him sucking dick at it. I will say the tigers was awesome.
Dude,
Yes.
getting mauled by a Bengal tiger has never looked so cool.
Yes.
Super, super excited for this game.
Yes.
And the fact that at the other conferences they showed the 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
Which conference was that at?
That
Yeah,
was
that was,
Sony.
Yeah.
And at a recent thing, I don't remember what it was before E3, they showed footage of the multiplayer.
Yeah.
If you guys have a chance, go online and try to find footage of the multiplayer, because the multiplayer looks awesome. When you're playing, first off, it's on like a small island,
Yeah.
and there's zip lines and all kinds of shit, but
Nice.
if you get enough kills, you can drop this bomb that turns everything like into a smoky black. If you enter it, everyone's an enemy. So for example, Mike, let's say you and I are playing,
Uh-huh.
and you drop that bomb on everything, and then you kill everyone in there, and half of the people in there are your teammates,
Right.
you get all those kills for your team.
Oh, wow.
That's sick.
That's
So
awesome.
even though you killed your own teammates, it all counts towards the final score.
Okay.
And you
all
don't
right.
get deducted.
So your
any
team...
points.
Oh, okay, I get that. That's right.
Also, the kill cam per se, no reason ever for anyone to like, how did I die?
Oh, they have that back again.
Because you'll see the trajectory of your bullets on the
Right.
guy, and you'll see his trajectories, bullets, and you'll know how you died
Mm-hmm.
while you're waiting
So
to
all
respawn.
that over and over and over again.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why you should watch the video, because it looks amazing. So
Oh.
with an amazing multiplayer, an amazing co-op, even though they fucking suck at it, and amazing single player, even though he sucks at it.
Weren't they going like, oh, you should go get on the bridge, and I'm going to go get this guy over here, and you snipe that guy real quick? And weren't they doing that? Like,
Yeah.
communicating like they were, like, fucking U.S. Marines?
Yes.
They were trying to. Like, at first they weren't saying anything to each other, but then, like, they were noticing how bad they were doing. So then they
Right.
started talking to each other, and it's like, oh, we suck even more.
It's like, I know me,
My favorite part-
I know my friends, we don't do that. We
My
don't talk
favorite
like
part about
that.
the co-op that was so funny to me was at the end when they're like, they put the bombs down, like, all right, go, 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 get off this bridge, go, go, go. And all of them are yelling the same thing.
Yeah.
They get off the bridge, and then the bridge blows up, and there's the video of the bridge blowing up. They all high-five, like, yeah! Woo! We're awesome! It's like, you all need to calm
Can you imagine
down.
if they were in separate houses? Air 5! Yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
right now!
So bad.
Yeah, I mean, I will. It's like multiplayer aside, like I do like how the story is shaping up, because it's basically the main guy in this game is he comes to the island and he's trying to figure out what's going on and trying to survive out here. But then like as time goes on, he adapts, and like he eventually becomes one of the many people that control like this small army. And the entire time is to kill this one guy to get revenge. And it's pretty cool. It has some trippy stuff in there too, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Excited for that game a lot. Really
Yeah,
excited.
it looks good. It looks polished. I like it.
I'm gonna polish its knob.
Get you some more
I
tips.
will. I know you want to. You want to get in on that knob.
Mhm.
Before we continue, I will say this, since I've talked about Far Cry 3 enough. The 3 games that I'm the most excited for this year are Borderlands 2,
Yeah.
Far
Uh-huh.
Cry 3, and Halo 4.
Yes.
So, So the next trailer that they showed was a Wii, was it Wii U and Kinect exclusive?
Rayman Legends.
No, Avengers Battle for Earth.
Oh yeah, that trailer.
I think it was Wii U.
Yeah, yeah, it was. Is it me or like in that trailer did Magneto look a little younger than usual?
Yes. Way young.
Yeah.
I think it all looked a little odd in that video, but it still looks pretty awesome.
Yeah. It was cool.
I like how Spider-Man got the drop on Magneto. That was funny.
Yeah, it was pretty rad.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Yo.
So then next they had the Wii U gameplay of Rayman Legends, which looks a lot like seriously.
That looks like so much fun, dude.
It does. It looks
looked
so
like
great.
a blast.
Yeah.
Apparently, I guess on
Is that?
IGN they were talking to the developers of the game, and the developers were talking about how they the players, the guys that were on stage, had played that game for seriously like 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
So they were that good at it when they got to the show.
Well,
Yeah.
still, I love that ending of it with the metal level that they're going through. Dude, I was like getting up off my chair,
I was just
jumping
like,
down to that.
Yeah.
You're guitaring along with them, dude. I thought that was rad.
And that was so sick. I do like it was like a rhythm based level, and that was cool. Like that was a cool level, and I was kind of looking at what the guy was doing on the Wii U controller along with the guys playing on the other controllers for the game, and it seemed at points not only was he like helping them out, but also like, doing the thing to unlock the birds from blue to gold. But like at the point where they were going up like this kind of tower and there were spikes on each end, the way it looked like it was doing is like when they hit that circle pad on the wall, the guy on the Wii U controller clicked on it, and then the characters went from one wall to another, so they couldn't do it by themselves. Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was another thing, was like the guys that were playing as Rayman and the blue thing or whatever, they were controlling their respective characters.
Yeah.
They weren't just being controlled by the guy with the Wii U controller. So.
Right.
Yeah, but it looked awesome. It looked cool. Oh man, it looked a lot of fun.
Looks like a lot of fun to play.
So next they showed the that cool 3D trailer for Zombie U.
Oh yeah.
With God Save the Queen being played.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Save the
It was a
Queen.
great trailer. I'll give it that. That was a pretty awesome trailer. It reminded me of Zombie Island.
Oh yeah,
Trailer.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Very awesome cinematic.
Yeah, it reminded me an awful lot like that. Yeah.
Then they had a sizzle reel including Sports Connection, Rabbids Land,
Yeah.
and Your Shape something or other, Your Shape Connection I think it was, or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Could care less about almost all of those games except maybe Rabbids.
Yeah, the rabbits were pretty fun.
Yeah.
But then they had, after that, the Assassin's Creed 3 gameplay trailer
Yeah.
that had Ezio showing fucking in-motion killing.
Yes.
Well, it's not Ezio.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Mike. Connor.
Connor.
I think one of the cool things was people were talking about his hidden blade. Like, what would he be able to do with it? What would be unique about it? And I think the coolest unique thing about it is that when he pulls it out, it can actually spin around, and he can use it on the through the back of his hand or the front of his hand, like stabbing and whatnot. It doesn't just come out as one straight blade.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yes.
He uses whatever's around him. He used the tomahawk, the bow and arrow, like boner for this game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like when he was chasing that guy, and he had to run through the snow, and you could tell that the snow was slowing him down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
I was like, that's cool.
And watching him hunt.
Yes.
Hunt the deer, the caribou.
He was hidden in the grass before he shot it.
Dude, I mean, it just felt really natural flow. I mean, like, just watching the caribou move through the woods, and it's like you see him stalking them and just attacks the prey. It's like, dude, that's what you'd have to do if you're in a survival situation like that. You gotta become the animal.
I was a little disappointed that we didn't see anything of Desmond. Not a
that's good.
Yeah. But can we talk about the ship footage that they had?
That was in the.
We did yesterday.
Yeah, we did. It's Sony press conference. This was the land portion of the demo.
Yeah.
I will say though, like, I find it kind of hard that he's an assassin and he's supposed to be quiet, yet he like hangs a guy in front of like 10 people. And,
Yeah.
And you know, kind of...
He's in your face about it.
Yeah.
One of the cool things, I was listening to an interview with one of the developers, and he was talking about how, unlike the other Assassin's Creed games where there's a clear good guy, bad guy thing, there isn't with Connor. He's only working with the Patriots because he feels like maybe he has to.
Right.
But at any time, he has no problem killing a Patriot.
Right.
Yeah. Or turning his back on him.
Yeah.
It's like a contract. Like, once the contract's up, it's like, I can do whatever I want, you know?
Also, I think that because there probably isn't any Patriots that are Templars,
Right.
Right.
whereas all of the Redcoats are. No, not all, but
Some are.
all of the Templars are Redcoats.
I'm interested in seeing what he's going to do with George Washington. Because they showed him a lot in that trailer, and it's like, obviously he's going to have some kind of involvement.
I thought it
with
was
him.
funny that there was the trailer where it showed him going across the field and then assassinating that one guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny in that trailer when they showed George Washington. He kind of looked like he just smelled a fart.
Yeah, it did.
He was like,
But he caught a whiff of his own.
But I get
pretty
why
much.
I get why he had that expression, because he's like, okay, Connor's killing our enemy, but he's doing it for his own reasons.
Yeah.
So I don't
like,
really like that.
Like, we're gonna just sit back and let him do his thing and just enjoy the show.
I hope the game hits on the whole slavery issue.
Yeah, yeah.
I really do. I really hope they do.
So we're gonna see George Washington's slaves in the game.
Yeah, like, I like you, but you have dark skin.
I like what I said on Twitter after I saw this. I was like, I don't remember learning about him in U.S. history.
Yeah.
One of my friends, I told him the plot, how he's how the Mohawk is going to be in the game because they were in that region of the world at the time and whatnot. And he was just like, there were no Native Americans involved in the American Revolution. I was like, you need to
Did
look.
he
you need to read
really
a book.
say that?
Yeah.
He really
Yeah.
said that? Wow.
Wow.
It was really funny. And then I talked to my brother about it. My brother was like, your friend needs to read a book. I know.
Did he go to high school? Was he taught American history?
Well, he's also incredibly weird because in Brotherhood and Revelations, you can recruit assassins, and some of those assassins happen to be female, and he couldn't handle having a female assassin, so he'd legitimately send a female assassin on a level 10 mission when she's a level 1 just to get her killed, so he didn't have to deal with her.
What?
Wow.
Didn't like the idea of working with a woman?
Yeah, he
Wow.
does not like that idea. And I think he's also a little racist and doesn't like the idea of a non-white character being an assassin. And I'm like, you played number 1 and 2, right? You realize that Ezio is Italian, who would have a darker skin color, and Altair is Middle Eastern.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, there's been no assassins that you play that are white.
Man,
None.
he must not like the president
Right
then.
there. That's interesting.
They even gave Desmond a larger nose to make him look Middle Eastern.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That schnoz kind of tells it all.
Yeah.
So frustrating, just like...
It's kind of, it's pretty frustrating.
No, I love the Assassin's Creed storyline. I think that I really am excited to see where this one's going to go. I like the idea that they are in America now.
You know, it's funny that you said that you love, the whole story. I am not a big fan of the Assassin's Creed. I don't really play them. But for some reason, I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen in this one because it's in America now. And it's in a big part of American history, American Revolution. That's how America was formed. How's Connor going to interact and interfere in this big moment in time? And I'm really interested in seeing what's going to happen with that. So I might actually play this game.
One thing I really like about the Assassin's Creed games is the historical accurateness of each of the games.
Yeah.
They've gone to locations, taken pictures of things, in all of the places.
Yeah.
The time era in which the games take place, whatever event is happening in that time that has been documented happens in the game.
Yeah.
I remember one of the big things about Assassin's Creed 1 that was so amazing was if there was a character in time at that time that died, that mysteriously died, like no one knew how he died.
Right.
Ezio would kill him, or Altair would kill him.
Right.
Amazing. Super smart, in my opinion.
That's actually a big point that the creators made during the E3 press conferences. They said one of the main reasons why location is important and history is important is because we want, Ezio and Altair and Connor to interact in these moments. That's why they do these moments in history, because everybody who's learned about world geography, world history, U.S. history, knows of these events, knows of these people, and you get to take this character and have them interact with those moments in time and kind of get to, mess around with the people, in those moments. Get to mess around with them, kill them, whatever, interact with them, do whatever.
Yep.
I love that.
Definitely.
Like your own time machine in a certain way.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree we are very interested in Assassin's Creed 3.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in it.
All right, well, the next thing they had was they actually had Toby and Aisha on stage arguing about who gets to be the host or some stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
Again, I told you I thought Aisha Taylor was a
Cunt.
interesting. Yeah.
I mean, she was very entertaining opposed to Toby. I mean, she was pretty funny actually.
I thought some of her jokes were kind of like off the wall.
I think Aisha Tyler.
Like, oh, Girlwood. I'm like, what? Okay.
I think Aisha Tyler is funny. I think Toby Turner is funny.
Mm-hmm.
However, hosting the Ubisoft press conference, awful.
Yeah. It didn't work for him.
But anyway, so they were on stage to introduce a new PC game specifically designed for esports called Shoot Mania.
Yep.
So the next thing they did was they had Aisha Tyler and Toby come out and introduce Shoot Mania, which is like an EA, or not EA, but esports exclusive thing, which is that whole competitive video game thing, like the MLB, or not MLB, but the
Major League Gaming,
MLG,
the whole kind of the fighting game community tournaments and all that good
rules
stuff.
and stuff that we all hate.
Yeah, and I will say, like, because I was watching this, most of the time I was watching these press conferences on the Twitch TV streams, because they have this chat on the side, and Twitch TV is known to air a lot of fighting game tournaments, and a lot of the fighting game community go on there to chat it up, and they say the most hilarious shit on there. So when they were talking about esports, like, everybody in the chat just went nuts, and they were like, esports, It was hilarious. But yeah, Shoot Mania.
Here's the thing. For one, don't create a game that is specifically designed for esports. The great thing about esports was that they would take a game that people would play naturally, like just casually, but still go in and they would use it for competitive stuff. That was the great thing about esports. Now it's like, they're like, oh, well, we have a game that's specifically for it. What do you think's going to happen to that game? It's going to fall off the fucking face of the earth and no one's going to hear from it again.
It's like what they did with that game Mag.
Yeah.
You guys remember Mag?
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's the same kind of premise they had with Mag. They thought, like, oh, everybody loves first-person shooters and everybody loves multiplayer. Let's make a game that's going to just be specifically those two things combined. And I think that's where their mindset is for this Shoot Mania thing. That's where I think they're going in that direction. I think, like, it's going to fail. I feel like it's going to fail just as hard as Mag did.
Yeah, the thing is, though, with Shoot Mania is, like, if you just looking at it, like, the way the game is set is that you have two sets of teams, your red and your blue, and you have different modes. Obviously, you capture the flag, your deathmatch, or whatever. And the way it looks is that you don't have a gun in front of you. You just have a cursor, or like a reticle, which you aim around and you shoot lasers from your point of view. So you always see like a laser or like or something coming out of you against them. It doesn't look graphically. It doesn't look that better off than other first-person shooters out there. Nor does it have the creativity in the maps.
It looks like I can't think of what the hell it's called. It looks like Counter-Strike graphics.
Oh yeah. Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
But, go ahead.
Oh, and I was going to add, and the thing is, though, is like, the comments that I was seeing, and also on Twitter, it's like, why do we have this? We have a Quake Live for this. I mean, exactly the same thing, except Quake Live is better.
Right.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So moving on from that, because it was shitty.
Yeah.
They had a sizzle reel of a bunch of games that were already out, where they're just like, look how big our dick head is. Like, that's
Pretty much. Yeah.
But after that was one of the greatest things of all of E3, and that was the premiere gameplay of Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, but was there anything else that was shown prior? I mean, I felt like there was maybe after the esports thing, wasn't another game shown, or am I just tripping?
No, yeah, there was. I think the game because Shoot Mania is supposed to be the the title for the esports thing, whereas Storm was the game that we saw.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there might be more games coming out for the Shoot Mania franchise, but still, again, I don't care.
Right. Okay. I thought I missed something after that. Okay. All right. But yes, Watch Dogs. Oh my God, a game is incredible.
This is Quantic Games' next game, right?
No, Quantic Games was
Beyond?
we talked about that yesterday with E3.
Beyond
and
Two
that was-
Souls,
yeah, it was
right?
Beyond.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yod. But anyways, yeah.
This is Ubisoft's original
Ubisoft's
IP.
original IP, that's right.
This was the most fresh and original IP that came out of all of E3.
Yeah.
Yes. This is my. I think for many of us, I think this was one of the biggest surprises come out of E3. Nobody really expected what this was, and when they were talking about introducing it, we didn't know what the hell it was.
They kept it real hush hush, which I was quite impressed with.
Yeah, they had that green scan across the room, and you could see it just scanning everybody. He's like,
I like that. That was awesome.
and they were talking about what if you had the power to control the city in the palm of your hands, and they're showing video shots and pictures of a real life city in more realistic footage than CGI. So we were all kind of tripping what the hell is this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. Whew, it was amazing. I think one of the most entertaining parts was when he would use the hacking as a tool.
Yeah.
There was gunplay and driving, which is great for an open world game.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you can control
Everything.
technology is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the developers was talking to IGN, because that's where I've been getting most of my E3 coverage. Not to promote them, not like they need it.
Name drop.
Yeah.
But the developer was talking about how it's not going to be just a situation for the gamer where they go and fuck with everything just to get to what they need to do, like it was showing. It's going to be a situation where you're going to have to plan out the events just to take out the target.
Yeah.
You're going to have to, I need to be able to sit across from the table from this guy and make sure he does everything I tell him to do,
Yeah.
and that there's no stone left unturned. The gamer's going to have to feel that way and use that mentality to hit their targets.
I like the idea that he had to manipulate the traffic signals to get the guys driving in the car to get through that intersection and cause that wreck at that certain point.
Oh,
You're the character. You're going to have to figure that out. I'm going to have to turn this light off to get that guy to make him go down that street, and then the climatic intersection wreck happens.
Yeah.
You got to make that plan. I like that. You got to think outside the box. You got to work your way around the environment.
Right. And the way this whole thing started was when I first saw the gameplay footage of it, and I was watching it with everybody else, is that it reminded me a lot of Deus Ex.
Yeah,
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
It reminded me of a lot of Deus Ex, and it reminded me a little bit of Uncharted because of the cinematics look so good.
Mm-hmm.
There was even rumors saying that this game isn't coming out to the next gen. But it looks so good, and I like the way it looks and feels.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's so many good things about this game.
Well, it's funny you say that about the next gen thing, because one of the developers actually, I don't know where he was when he said it, but I saw it on IGN. I read it on IGN that he says he promises that Watch Dogs will be coming out for the PS3 and 360.
I heard
Yeah.
that. I heard that they're going to make it it can be on these systems. It doesn't have to wait till. next gen.
Mhm.
Yeah, I heard about
Right.
that too.
Yeah, man.
Because I would have been sad. I'll be like, I don't want to wait that long.
I know,
I
seriously.
want to play this now.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I think I'm excited for it. I really, really am.
so
That's the thing.
am
I think it's a great premise because it's like we have so much. We have technology now where you can get information on anybody almost instantly. Like if you had the legal background to be able to do that, I guess if you don't want to do it illegally. But it's just great that they're implementing that into the game. Like his cell phone, he can like go up and scan you and just like get your tax information, get your personal information. He knows that you broke the law. Just stuff like that. Just kind of blows your mind, and then you got to use that information for certain objectives. It's a great premise. I'm gonna enjoy that game.
definitely, and it's set in a modern setting. It's not. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess technically it's a feature, kind of, because he's the one controlling the entire thing through his the palm of his hand per se. But the way that the whole setting is, the way that the game is set up to where you can do pretty much about anything technology hacking wise,
Right.
that would help you accomplish your goal at the end of
Yeah.
the day. What really was the trippy part was at the very end of the demo when you see like he's on the run, but you see like this other guy from all the way across town on top of a building talking to somebody on the phone, and you see that blue icon above him, and then you or a red icon, and you zoom out and like you see more icons. So it's like, wait a minute, there could be more than one hacker in the city doing the
Yeah.
exact same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how it's not just that character that they were showing. That
Yeah.
like you're probably going to be playing as a multitude of characters because they're all working together. It's like anonymous.
It's like
times-
a
times 10.
It's like a community of hackers, and you're going to be interacting with them. Yeah.
Or what it could be, and this would be some kick-ass shit. What if those people that were that you saw those icons above, those red icons, were not NPCs, but actually other players?
That would be interesting.
That would be pretty cool. That would be
Jump in and on your game. Yeah.
yeah, or something to that nature. Maybe
Or
something in multiplayer. Maybe.
All linked together. Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd
man.
be interesting. Pop in and out like you don't even know it.
Yeah, I mean that came out pretty loud, Greg.
What my drinking?
Yeah, I heard a big.
Oh, he
sip.
didn't pull his mic up.
Oh.
Oh, my bad.
No, that's cool. But yeah, I mean, the game, it's man, best game I've seen out of E3 thus far.
Biggest shocker, I'd say, because I wasn't expecting that at
Yeah,
all.
it was
Yeah.
a great surprise. It was a breath of fresh air. I just love new IPs. I don't know what to
Yes.
say.
Yes.
So now that we've talked about Watch Dogs and we've discussed Ubisoft's press conference, we're going to give it a score like we did with the other ones. Mike, what would you, out of 1 to 10, what's your score?
I gave it a 10.
Anthony, what's your score?
I'll give it an 8.
I'm going to give it a 9. So clearly, if we add in Ubisoft's and EA's to the big thrmost, Ubisoft won.
Yeah, I really
yeah.
thought they were stellar.
Yeah.
I thought they put on a great presentation.
Yeah, Ubisoft put out most majority of their games look not only very polished, but games that we all want to play, and
Yeah.
it really appealed to us. So,
Yeah.
except for the dance game and the esports.
Yeah, they started
Shoot
off. They
Nation
started
or
off
whatever it
very.
is.
Yeah, they started off and they had like, with the Wii U stuff looking very cool and polished, with Far Cry looking unbelievable, and Watch Dogs being a breath of fresh
And
air,
Assassin's Creed, yeah.
and Assassin's
yeah,
Creed gameplay
yeah.
footage, like they knocked it out the goddamn park.
I really did. I was really quite surprised because it's like the last couple years, EA and Ubisoft have always been in the shadow of the big three, and it's nice to see another conference really like, put on a presentation that's noteworthy and memorable.
Mhm,
Yeah.
agreed. And now I will take over the show. Haha. But
Sorry,
first,
Greg, you've been demoted.
but thanks, Greg.
I don't even care.
But thanks, Greg, for doing that.
No problem.
Yeah. And so now this part I will open up the floor to you guys to whatever games that you saw today or the past several days that you really want to talk about or kind of what really caught your eye.
One that I think Mike and I saw right off the bat that got our attention is Star Wars 1313.
Yeah,
yeah,
that one really
man.
like pushed my buttons in a good way.
Yes. Yeah.
It just looks amazing, and if it like, here's the thing.
It
First
looks
off,
dark and it looks rugged.
I've
Yeah.
said this for years. The thing that makes Star Wars games good is when you don't play as Jedis.
Right? Yeah, it doesn't
Playing
have
as-
to be a Jedi.
Playing as
Yeah.
Jedis and lightsabers usually makes a Star Wars game terrible.
Yeah.
Like the only one that did it well was Star Wars Unleashed.
Force Unleashed.
The Force Unleashed. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the name of it. It did it right, and it made it fun. However, I think that having a story that directly associates to the characters in the Star Wars universe
Yeah.
is kind of a scapegoat now. Like, don't do it anymore. Stop it. Have original stories that take place in that universe because it's so rich.
Yeah, there's a lot that can be written. There's so much space in between, like both trilogies. There's so much space written in between both episode and episode. You could do a lot with that.
Yeah.
And you have a whole range of creatures and races and characters.
Yeah. I do like that. A couple of things about when I first saw it is like, the graphics look so good. I've not seen a Star Wars game that looked that good in a long time.
Yeah.
Two, I would say like they're doing this game for a more mature audience. They said like this is a mature rated game. Their shit's gonna happen. You know, you'll see people die.
There was
gonna die.
an interview on E3 or IGN that with the guy talking about how it's not mature in the fact that there's going to be gore or like excessive violence.
Right.
It's mature in the content. It's mature in the fact that you're playing as a pair of bounty hunters. You're playing as a bounty hunter, but he has a partner with him.
Right.
And you go down to the seedy parts of Coruscant because it's basically a giant planet city.
Yeah, you got
Or
the
city planet.
you got the slums, you got the rich areas. Yeah.
This is the nasty part of Coruscant that's
Yeah.
going to have to deal with probably a lot of the gangs and the mobs and whatnot that take place on Coruscant. And I can't wait to play that. Like
To see that part that we don't get to see.
And the gameplay looks very similar to what like is becoming the norm now for third person, which is the Uncharted kind of element like
parkour. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. I want to see more of it.
And they say that this story takes place in between the first three and the second three. I don't exactly know where, but it's somewhere right in the middle. So, you know, I don't necessarily like those characters like Anakin and Obi-Wan. They exist. I doubt we're gonna run into them. I doubt that.
Yeah.
I don't think this story is anywhere in the vein of the Star Wars trilogies at all.
From what I understand from everything that I've heard and read is that it takes place between episode 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah.
But it has absolutely nothing to do with any of the characters.
Yeah. So you won't,
nothing.
And I'm fine with that because if there's enough story there to make you forget about those characters altogether, I'm in. Like I don't need to be reminded that Yoda's a Jedi and Obi-Wan. Those guys don't need to be in there. If
I don't want to hear the word Jedi in the fucking game.
Yeah, the story can carry itself. I'm all in. It's Star Wars. It's ships flying through space and people killing aliens and all kinds of shit.
It's about two guys that are in the Star Wars universe who are in a shitty part of Coruscant, taking out bad guys and collecting a bounty on their head.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That the two guys are that halfway point between good guy and bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know if you can really trust, but they're in for the money.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Color me excited.
Yeah.
Another one that Mike and I saw that we're pretty excited for. It's a sequel to a game that came out 2 years ago, I believe, or last year.
I think it was 2 years ago.
Transformers: Fall of Cybertron.
Yes.
I saw some of that. That looked really good.
Did you see the gameplay trailer?
Yes. Oh man.
Dude, it's epic. Did you play War for Cybertron?
I played some of it. I still need to finish it, but yeah.
Oh my
Me
God.
too. I'm in that same boat. I think I'm going to revisit it here pretty soon.
I
definitely.
love the hell out of that game.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They made it because as an old school Transformers fan, it was very fresh and cool to see a lot of stuff from the old cartoon make it into the game, not stuff from the fucking movie that Michael Bay made.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
that's what excited me. However, but they still like added in like for the people who've only seen the movies, there was still stuff in the game that kind of translated that as well. So people who'd never seen the cartoon series, which I don't know how you haven't, could sit there and get into the game without having to worry about that kind of thing. So but the fact that Fall of Cybertron is just more of the same.
Right.
I'm stoked.
It's just for me, like real quick, like for me, like I just watching the trailer that we did today of the pretty much the first mission when you're on the Autobot ship. It's like there's so many moving parts going on around you, and your character's in the middle of all of it, and there's all this chaos, and things are blowing up, and things are flying at you, and robots are transforming, and there's robots that are over 40 feet tall, and there's ones that are like 2 feet tall, and it's like it's just mass chaos. It's just like a clusterfuck of awesomeness. It's just going on minute per minute, and it's like that was like a 10, maybe not even a 10-minute video of just a glimpse of what you're gonna get out of that game. And it's like if you love the first game, this game is gonna be like 10 times fold that, and it's just amazing. I'm just super excited for it.
I love that quote you just did. A clusterfuck of awesomeness.
I know. I'm gonna write that one down.
I do have a question though. Like, what time period does this game pick up from the last game?
Well, if you beat the last game, which you guys didn't, the last shot in the game shows the Autobots standing outside of their ship that inevitably crash lands on Earth and is there for like millions of years. But like shortly after the first game, not terribly too long, because
it doesn't seem like it's been too long from what we saw in the video. It looked like they did in the last game.
Right.
Robot-wise.
Because the first game was War for Cybertron.
Right.
Which was just the main battle between because what was great about the game was you played as the Decepticons for the first half of the game.
Right.
And you were just setting up this overwhelming feeling of dread and whatnot for the Autobots, which then when you played as the Autobots, you're like, I have to fix everything I just did. That was awesome. I love that.
You just undo what you did.
And I hope that they do the same for Fall of Cybertron, because to have the ability to play as the Decepticons at any point in the game will be fun.
Right.
I saw gameplay footage today of a guy was playing as what's his name? Starscream.
Oh, nice.
And Starscream can go invisible and then sneak up behind guys and like assassinate them. But he can also go into, like that was another thing about the first game that the second game is going to do as well. You can literally transform out at any point on the fly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's so sick.
That was one thing I really, really dug about the first game was like I could do that. That was a possibility, and I wasn't limited by like a meter that was like you only transform this many times. It was like at any point I can transform.
Right.
So like I don't know. I'm really
that's something to get excited about.
Yes, definitely.
There was another game, Mike, that you were excited for.
Yes, Gears of War Judgment.
Yeah, that shit looks sick.
Yes, I'm very stoked about this, and all I can say is I want more Baird.
Yeah.
Yeah, chicks dig the Baird.
Yeah, they certainly do. They enjoy the slick blonde hair, blue-eyed guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very funny to me to hear them make a game that centered around Baird and Cole, because when you talk to fans about the game, those are two of the most favorite characters.
Yeah. And even the creators said and the guy, I can't remember who they were talking to, but he works with Humans Can Fly.
People Can Fly.
Yeah, that's the game company that's working with Epic Games for Gears of War Judgment. He even said, like, Cole and Baird, like, don't really have much of a backstory, or you don't really know much about them. I mean, Baird is a mechanic, and Cole is a football player.
Basketball.
Thrash Ball. I stand corrected. Thrash Ball.
Can get terminology wrong.
Okay, I know how awesome Thrash Ball is. I should be totally ashamed of myself. But you don't get a real backstory of those two, and I think it's great. And like Greg said, they are lovable characters, and you gotta love Baird's like catchphrases and his cockiness and just his whole demeanor. And it's just gonna be awesome to be able to play a whole maybe 2-hour, 3-hour campaign, 6-hour, whatever.
The campaigns of the Gears of War trilogy are not very long.
They're not very long, yeah.
What's really fun about the
They're
Gears
more
of War...
cinematic, too, most of the time.
Yeah,
That's what they
true.
said, real quick before you finish your thought, Greg, they actually mentioned that the 3 games were a lot of cinematic, moments. They said they were going to try to eliminate that, more gameplay, less cinematic, which I'm fine with. I mean, the cinematics were visually stunning, and I enjoyed it all very much. I had no problem with it, but if they feel like it was a problem and they're going to try to fix it, then I'd say, okay.
I'm just glad that at the Xbox press conference or Microsoft press conference when they released the trailer, they didn't have Cliffy B come out and be a douchebag for 5
I was
seconds.
quite surprised that they didn't have him plug it.
He might not have anything to do with the game now that I think about
it. It's true. He might not.
That's a good point, yeah. Isn't he working on the other game they revealed at the VGAs last year? The what was it that Fort game?
Fortnite. He was working on Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite.
Yeah.
Good call, Anthony. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
One thing about Gears of War Judgment that really intrigues me is overrun mode.
Yes.
Yes. Mike and I watched some gameplay footage, and it was amazing because
just for everybody to know, it's Horde mode and Beast mode combined.
Mm-hmm. That shit looks awesome.
It's awesome because there's the female character who is like the medic. Then there's the other guy who is the recon character.
You have like the scout, you have the tank, you have the medic. Yeah.
Yeah, and Cole is easily the tank. He's the guy with the heavy machinery and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then Baird is the mechanic. And
right.
Overrun mode was really cool because it was humans have to defend a place, and then the Locusts get to come in as the army that's trying to take over them. Except the Locusts aren't because when you play versus now, it's Locusts versus humans.
Right.
But everyone has the same health. Whereas it looks like in Overrun mode, the Locusts are going to have less health. But you can respawn faster. You have the abilities to heal and stuff like that,
certain
like you would in Horde mode.
On both sides, yeah.
And the different amount of locusts you can be from the gameplay footage I was watching, seems pretty cool. Like you could be that in Gears 3 that weird kind of centipede type of locust.
No, the Centipede. It's called a Centipede.
Cyberpede, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw some gameplay footage of that, and it's like when someone was.
Dude, that looks like a 9-foot-long piece of terror right there, dude.
Yeah.
In Gears of War 3 right now, when you get to play in Beast mode, when you actually get to play as a Centipede, which you totally can.
Yeah, you can.
It's only on the ground and only does this little front mandible shocker thingy.
And it's easy to kill. You just attack its tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in this one, it got up hella far above everything, was shooting this green plasma, and I was like, holy crap!
It was like Cobra style. It was just like, spit at you.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I really am. I love the Gears of War games. And
I honestly thought with the Gears of War 3, I was like, oh, this is it. This is so sad. No more Gears. So I was like giddy when I found out about that.
Yeah.
I still want a Pendulum Wars game.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Good one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the funny things of
this one takes place after the Pendulum Wars, but during E-Day, right?
Yeah, like day or two after E-Day happened.
After E-Day?
This game takes place not a day or two. It takes place a couple months.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's fairly
it is shortly after E-Day.
After E-Day.
Yeah, because you'll be fighting in the campaign against the Locusts mainly.
Right.
I don't know if you're fighting against anything else, actually. Because I don't think you'll be fighting against humans since the Locusts are already there.
Right.
But, again, I want a Pendulum War game where you are fighting against the other, the Coalition.
That would probably happen next.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
Something else.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's, that looks pretty cool, and, I can't wait to play it either when it comes out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was there any other games you guys saw that you thought was interesting or kind of was wanting to play more or play when it comes out?
Going through my list here, and I'm just kind of scrolling down, looking at stuff, and To be honest, not really. I mean, a lot of the games that are coming out this year I want to play, but we've talked about them extensively.
I'll tell you something I was disappointed about.
Huh.
Disappointed about the fact that Valve didn't announce
Yeah.
Didn't announce anything. They built us up and knocked us down like, ugh.
But I mean, like, to be honest, Valve has done this almost every other year, except for the year when they came out for the Sony press conference for Portal 2 and said that Steam was coming to PS3.
Yeah.
That was like the only other time they came out and said, this shit's happening. But I know. I hear ya.
Dude. And even after, I think it was after Sony, I said to Greg, I said, dude, so disappointed. Valve didn't say anything. He goes, well, it's day 2. There's still 4 more days left.
I was thinking like possibly they were gonna have something on the floor, and I've been looking at a lot of like nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm like, where was this thing that I read like a few months ago? Where
You're not
Valve...
the only one who read it. Everybody read it. Like they said something with 3 in it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
Maybe. But here's the thing, though. Valve is so big, they don't need E3 to announce it. They can announce it on their own, and people will still go crazy regardless.
It's very true. But I mean, that was one thing I was most looking forward to because it's like it's coming and it's going to be a big thing, but you're still getting excited at the same time, and then it's just an utter disappointment after all that build up for nothing.
Yeah.
The only announcement they made during E3 was that Counter-Strike Global Edition is going to be $15 when it comes out. So, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much about it with Valve.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I was also like a little disappointed with Nintendo on a certain level because we didn't get any other new franchise games from their franchise characters like Kirby or Star Fox. And I mentioned about this in the episode the other day, but it's just kind of frustrating because you want Nintendo to do, both. You want them to cater to the hardcore gamer, but you also want to keep their franchise characters alive. And I know that one year, like last year, a couple years back, they came out with new Donkey Kong, came out, new Kirby, new this, new that, and then no hardcore stuff. And then this year they do hardcore stuff and no franchise stuff, except for Mario and Luigi. But that seems like a common. But it's just frustrating. It's just like Nintendo, meet us in the middle, do both. Come out with a handful of both in both hands, and it's like.
What's really funny is they did a lot of. Here's this cool thing. Now go to our website and check out all the stuff.
I know,
that's
seriously,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
They did a
come
lot
on,
of
Reggie, can't you just tell us about what we could be listening to?
They do only have an hour, and they spent a fucking 20, it was almost 15 minutes on Nintendo Land. It was like, no one cared enough.
Yeah.
Dude, it just seems like a glorified Mario Party.
Nintendo has a notorious track record for going, we're going to spend more time on things that people don't care about than what people actually care about.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, so I was looking for games that were not on my radar and kind of were just games that were hidden in the rough, per se. Because I already know, like, the games I saw that I'm excited for. Like, yes, I'm excited for Assassin's Creed 3, Halo 4, Borderlands 2. Like, I'm excited for these games, and I've seen enough to know, I'm going to buy it. So I was checking out, I'm trying to find out what other games that I didn't know about that were out there that were pretty cool. And 3 kind of popped up on my radar. One I kind of knew about, but one to see more was a game called Hawken. Is this game developed by it's an independent game, surprisingly. And this game is basically, if I were to describe it, it is a multiplayer mech game in the same vein as MechWarrior. But the speed of the mechs that you play in are a lot faster.
Faster.
Yes, and not only that, but the game looks so good. It's shocking that it's an independent game. But yes, like the game looks good. They were showing it on game trailers. I was watching it, and they were showing off like more or less kind of what they've been working on. The environment is still the settings is still very. In the what do you call it? Very mechanical, very I won't say industry, but like like a power plant type of deal. You see like these machine type buildings, or like you see the decaying buildings outside. and you're in a giant mech and you're going around and you're shooting other mechs at the same time. They showed off the customization you could do with the mech, where you can change what weapon loadout you want, and kind of how you'll still have that that you got to make sure that your mech isn't carrying too many weapons to have it overbearing weight on it. It will make it more slow or whatnot.
Right.
So Hawken, it looks really cool. I really am looking forward to that.
Sweet.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Hawken was like one of them that I was really excited for that didn't, or was on my radar a little bit, but wanted to see more. Was there any games that you guys saw that were like, did you were interested in that was on your radar?
I heard about Little Big Planet karting.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So, Little Big Planet karting, I guess, is go-kart?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's go-kart racing in that it runs off the same servers as the Little Big Planet 2 or whatever. And so any of the maps that like people have already made for racing on Little Big Planet will automatically go into Little Big Planet karting.
So it's kind of like Mod Nation Racers with the Little Big Planet characters.
And it's got combat racing in it too. So
Combat racing in it too.
Pretty much. I feel like sometimes with the video game companies, it's like if you've out of ideas, just make a go-kart game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nintendo's notorious for doing that.
Yeah, there was like Crash Bandicoot that had like a karting game too, and then who else? Like there's like a ton of Mortal Kombat at one point had one too. Actually, I totally forgot about that.
Did they really?
They did. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they did.
Unfortunately, but the one thing that I liked about what they would do on Little Big Planet, like people would create your own levels and stuff, and they came up with a lot of good little racing levels on there, and a lot of them were like Nintendo ones, and they would get pulled because Nintendo can't be on Sony and stuff. But I think the creators of Little Big Planet finally got the idea, like, okay, people obviously like to do racing games, so we need to do a racing game.
That's a good point.
Let them have their own ideas. But I like the Nintendo ones. I thought they were creative.
Yeah.
Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time.
Ooh, I did not see that, but tell me more if you've seen it.
I'm just looking at the list.
Oh, okay.
I know there's a lot of I know there's a lot of Sly Cooper fans.
Right. Definitely.
And I know they've all been waiting for a new one. That's for sure.
Yeah, like I've been trying to look for some Sly Cooper stuff, and I'm pretty sure it's out there somewhere. I got to find it, but I do know that there is another one in the works, and it's being made by not the same guys who made it, but like kind of like the guys who are fans of it who are making it. It's another company, but it's interesting to see it back, and a lot of fans love it. I still have yet to play the Sly Cooper games. I should.
He does look interesting in the PlayStation All-Stars game, though.
Yeah, he does.
Stars or whatever.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. But, yeah, definitely Sly Cooper wanting to get it. I was going to say, have any of you guys been checking out any of the Devil May Cry stuff they've been showing off?
I'm not a real big fan of Devil May Cry. How about you, Greg?
This one looks a little weird to me because I wasn't a huge fan of it in the past, but I liked the look of Dante, and this new weird emo look of Dante doesn't excite me at all.
Yeah, I mean, like we've all agreed about that. His appearance is not the best in the world, or his character design is not the greatest. And then I kind of gone over that. But I saw some gameplay footage of just him against a boss. And the more I look at it, the more it's looking like kind of what Devil May Cry was known for, like these insane combos, using different weapons on the fly, and using the environment around him to really gain to his advantage against a boss or against his enemies. And it's looking a lot more like Devil May Cry as it's becoming more and more apparent. But also the fact that I do like how you are not only fighting the enemies in front of you, but you're fighting the environment at the same time. Which is a really cool mechanic that they're putting into the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, Devil May Cry. Woo.
Another one. Another game I'm actually interested in is Lego Batman 2: DC Superheroes.
I saw that trailer there. That was awesome.
I love the Lego games and I loved Lego Batman, but my biggest problem with Lego Batman or the Lego Batman DC superheroes thing is like, is the whole game gonna be evolved around Batman and then coming in contact with this individual superheroes because there's a villain that they can't take care of? Like, if that's the case, why didn't they just make Lego Justice League?
Yeah, that's true too.
Like, I'll play it, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun, but
you get to go to Arkham City or Arkham Asylum.
That's true.
It's pretty awesome. And that was probably the Killer Croc.
Yeah.
Killer Croc.
Yeah.
Dude, they show the Batwing in the video, and I was like, dude, it's a Batwing. Like, that's awesome.
Yes.
So I'm gonna definitely check it out because like Greg said, he's a big fan. I'm a big fan of the Lego games, Indiana Jones. I wasn't a big fan of Lego Harry Potter though.
Yeah.
I can't. My problem is I can't get into Harry Potter. I'm not a fan of it at all.
Yeah. Well, the game also wasn't that much fun because you literally went from classroom to classroom.
Yeah,
learning. Yeah, it was so boring.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to get into something like that. But Lego Batman, Lego Batman 2, I could definitely see myself playing. Especially if I get to fly the Batwing.
I liked Lego Batman 1 a lot. So
I did too.
I'll play this one for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of DC heroes, did you guys check out the new
Justice?
Yeah, that fighting game that Ed Boon's working on?
I want to know the plot behind that game because, why are the superheroes fighting each other?
They look like they're all possessed.
Oh my God, the Flash's armor looks awesome.
Yeah,
it does. And Superman's costume kind of looks like it's got armor on it. It doesn't look like cloth. It kind of looks like a plating or something like that on it.
Yeah, Superman's costume looks not like cloth either.
Yeah.
The cool thing about the game is that they're taking essentially what it looks like is like just Mortal Kombat, but just with DC hero skins on top of it. But I do like the creativity they're taking with some of I guess the fatalities per se, or kind of like their thing. So like one of them was like Superman's, where like Superman will go up to you and he'll like uppercut you, and like you will go fly above the stratosphere. He goes up and then he hits you on top of your head and sends you back down to Earth. Yeah. That was insane. I love that shit.
Some people were questioning that too. Like really, is that really gonna be like? Every time you hit somebody like that, he's going to knock him into space, and, like, is it going to get kind of redundant after a while? Sorry if you heard that. We're trying to pull up the video of Injustice, but yeah, like a lot of people were, I heard people were kind of complaining about that. Like every time he hits me, is he really going to knock me out of the stratosphere and then put me back down? But I thought it was cool for the trailer, of course.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
But I just want to know the backstory. Like every side-scrolling fighting game has a backstory to it, especially like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and stuff. So there's obviously got to be like some master kind of came down to Earth and like put a spell on all of the superheroes, and now they want to kill each other.
I mean, there's
oh, sorry, go ahead, Anthony.
Oh, no, finish your thing before.
I was going to say, like, the only thing I have a problem with in this game is Wonder Woman looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's I'm not going to say this in a weird way, but it's kind of awesome. Kind of funny watching a girl get her ass kicked by all these guys.
Costumes in this game are clearly from the new 52 line.
Yeah, they clearly are, yeah. Because she's got pants on, which is weird.
Well, also, Harley Quinn she doesn't have the actual headpiece on.
No.
It's just she has one side of her hair is blue, one side is red.
Yeah, and she carries that big hammer, too. Yeah. But I do like how Solomon Grundy's in it.
That was cool.
Dude, that's going to be awesome.
If the game only has Flash, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, Harley Quinn, and Solomon Grundy, it's going to be a terrible game.
Oh, no, they'll add more, yeah.
I'm sure, like, more of Batman's villains will be in there. I'm sure, like, Doomsday will probably be in there.
Oh, Doomsday would be a good addition.
Apocalypse, Apocalypse is Marvel.
You're thinking of Darkseid.
Darkseid, that's what I was thinking. Darkseid, yeah. If he's in there, that'd be awesome. Yeah, like Superman and Batman have the most iconic villains out of all the DC ones, I had to say, and I'm sure most of those will show up.
Definitely.
But like fighting in the Batcave, that seems pretty awesome. Fighting inside of inside the Fortress of Solitude, I mean, I'm down for that. And Metropolis is huge no matter what, so it's like there's always going to be a place to fight when it comes to the levels and stuff. I just want to see, like, the detail of, like, when Mortal Kombat, like, you get knocked to the lower level or you get knocked to the upper level, like, what kind of elements are going to come into play there? Because I'm watching, like, the videos right now, and it shows, like, Superman, like, knocking a guy through the concrete floor, and he goes down into the basement, or Solomon Grundy knocks someone up to the roof of a building, and it's like, what's going to happen up there, or can you get back down, and how far, what's the limitations? That's what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
Of each player's level, or whatever, or each character's level.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that NetherRealm is working on it, and they're the same guys who did Mortal Kombat, which will also people forgot to realize or remember is that the Mortal Kombat story in Mortal Kombat 9 was actually not that bad. They actually made it work.
Mortal Kombat 9, which was just titled Mortal Kombat, is actually a really, really great game. Mm-hmm. They finally figured out that 3D thing doesn't really work for Mortal Kombat, and to keep it 2D, and it was a wonderful game. But people also forget that this is the same company that made a Mortal Kombat DC game. So
yeah,
that's true too.
Like, don't forget about that. This game could suck dick. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it, but I hate to play devil's advocate, but I think there needs to be some resolve in our excitement.
Right. I hear what you're saying, but I feel that with the Mortal Kombat game they did and accomplished, I feel like they learned a lot from the success of that game. On top of what they could done better for the next game possibly. Right. So, but yeah, I'm excited though to check it out and see what it's all about.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Like, I'm not a big DC fan, but this does look interesting.
It does.
And what's funny is, like, they show a lot. They're showing a lot of footage in these fights, and there's no Green Lantern in there yet. So I'm just imagining, like, what
Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Green Arrow.
Yeah, well, Green Arrow, man.
But, I think because here's the thing with the Flash: is Flash doesn't normally have armor. So if you gave Green Arrow armor, he'd be an awesome character to play as.
So does that mean I'll have an advantage if I fight against Aquaman and we're not near an ocean?
It'd be funny if Aquaman just comes in riding on a wave and then lands. Like, I want them to do the crazy long blonde hair hook of a hand.
Aquaman, the gold hook.
That's the Aquaman that I want.
Exactly.
Voiced by I can't think of his name all of a sudden. He John DiMaggio from the Batman Brave and the Bold.
Batman Brave and the Bold. Yep.
Yes, that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, it will be cool.
Cool. Was there anything else you guys saw that you wanted to talk about, or?
Not off the top of my head, honestly. Okay. Mike's kind of scrolling around, looking on IGN.
Yeah, I'm looking on IGN, seeing what it's showing with the...
I'm standing up in his room, farting.
Thanks for that, by the way.
I ate something earlier today that is just giving me the worst gas ever.
Man, I'm glad I'm not there.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, IGN's showing a bunch of stuff like... Lost Planet 3.
Day 7?
No, day
6.
4.
Oh, day 4? Oh, yeah, you're right. No, Monday was... No, okay, you're right.
The date is going to be the 7th.
Leave me alone.
Scroll down to day 7, or God damn it, Suchi did Mike? Day 4.
Yeah.
That's day 2.
I mean, the only other game I can think of that was not... The only other game I was thinking of that was not covered exactly was the Hitman Absolution game. And
the video or the game?
The game itself.
Oh, okay.
They showed
the trailer they showed with the hot nuns was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Nude nuns with guns. It would have been better.
Yeah. But they showed it up on GameSpot's channel, and there were like a walkthrough of the game, and it's classic Hitman, kind of classic. How he you have the choice of either guns a-blazing, or you can do like a stealth kill without even lifting a finger. And the way it looks, it reminds me a lot like how, at least in the level they showed, like a lot like Assassin's Creed was, where there's a crowd everywhere, and you have to kind of walk around and make sure you don't look too suspicious. And in this demo they showed off, is like they told the person, like, you can either go guns a-blazing, or you can kill like the main boss or your target by poisoning his food. So so he took Agent 47, and he walked around for a bit, got some clues, and these clues pop up. They'll tell you like hint. You push R2 or R1 or whatever button you got to push, and they'll tell you exactly what the hint is, and then you can use that to your advantage. And in this case, he went over to the food area where the guy, his target was going to go get some food, and he poisoned his food, and he sat next to him and just was holding the paper, so he doesn't look suspicious. So then the guy eats it, and he like dies a second later, which there must have been some like very strong poison to kill him that quickly. And then Agent 47 just walks away casually.
Are you kidding? It was wow, I had it in my head. I want to say white can't.
Brain fart.
The stuff that was in Princess Bride.
Oh, that.
Yeah, that's right. Now I know what you're talking about.
Right. It could have been. Who knows what type of poison he was using. But yeah, like it was cool because he walked away and then it just said, kill, or was it target killed, successful, and he just walked back the back door. So it was cool. It looked really awesome. So I haven't really played Hitman games myself, but this was pretty cool. So, yep. Was there anything else you guys want to talk about, or?
Well, I was looking at the list here for tomorrow for E3, and it says that at 5 o'clock there's going to be a Nintendo game to be announced, and I'm interested in what that's going to be.
Here's the thing, it'll probably be just a game that we've already heard about. The reason IGN does that is because they know that there's a Nintendo game, but they don't know which one, so they make it look like, here's secret Nintendo game.
Yeah.
You mean they're not going to just...
Because they've already, like, for that time slot, Nintendo's like, well, we'll bring a game over.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, Grace, like majority of the games we've seen is like we've already know about, or that we already are going to buy in advance. So there isn't much to be shown, anything new. I mean, that's why I'm trying to find something new. But
are you guys interested in Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Too bad.
Wait. Hold on. What? Wait.
Beyond
Good and Evil 2.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
They didn't show anything for Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I know.
I heard about it.
I've heard about it for 3 years now.
Same here.
They didn't talk about it at all?
No.
Didn't they?
It did, like,
or something, or a video for it or something.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from E3 about Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah.
I heard somebody talking about it.
See, the thing is though, was like Beyond Good and Evil 2, it was announced and shown a couple years ago at E3, but ever since then they have not spoken a word about it.
Oh, you know why I think? Okay, you know why I think I heard of it, because I was listening to somebody review it, and I think they brought up the fact that it wasn't mentioned, and yet we're all waiting for it. I think that's why I heard about it recently.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't talk about it, but I think somebody mentioned like, oh, we heard about Beyond Good and Evil 2, but yet nobody mentioned it. That's why I was thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they also didn't talk about, nobody even brought up anything about the Last Guardian.
Yeah.
The game that everybody's been waiting for, but it's like they dropped it or something. Nobody wanted to break it to us gently or anything like that. It's like they gave up on it.
Here's the thing with Last Guardian. If it's not here at E3, it has a better chance being shown at Tokyo Game Show.
True.
Okay?
But like they mentioned this like 2 years ago, and they didn't mention it at the Tokyo Game Show then.
Yeah, I know.
It's like what's going on?
But
with
there's still a chance at the Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah,
like
there's
getting charred.
There's a chance, but like it's in the same game vein as other games that were announced that were shown somewhat little, but then they haven't seen for a while, like Final Fantasy 13 Versus and Kingdom Hearts 3. It's like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they show us Kingdom Hearts 3DS, and it's like, it's not quite Kingdom Hearts 3. What are you doing? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, I was actually surprised about that because
give us the 3.
There was a lot of rumor that Square Enix is going to come out or is going to show a bunch of stuff for Kingdom Hearts 3, and we saw nothing of it. So I was actually really surprised by that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think we've exhausted as much information as we can get. But I would say that There's still a lot to be shown. I mean, this is being recorded on the Wednesday night of E3, which is day 2. So there'll be another 2-3 days left. But this will go up on Friday. And yeah, I think we've done all we can do, buddy.
Just to let your listeners know, let you guys know, next show, like next overtime that I have, what I plan on doing, and the reason I'm telling you guys now is because I want you guys to make your list when we're done, is your top 10 most excited games you were happy or excited about from this E3.
Cool. Awesome.
And then we will discuss them next time we record an episode of the overtime.
That'd be a good one.
That'd be awesome. Sweetness. So, fellas, I have to first say thank you for joining me for this podcast.
Well, you were welcome. Thank you for joining us for the overtime and the Freakin' Awesome podcast.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. Even though my computer crashed, we still managed to continue the podcast, thankfully.
Oh, yeah. You know how to get through speed bumps, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Great.